this is Keith Hubbard with True Principles, teaching families how to heal one choice at a time, and we do that by understanding the principles that govern our life. So today's principle is on obligation and how obligation might be showing up in your life and in your relationships and how it's affecting you. So we all have at some point or another felt obligated to call our mom on her birthday or do the dishes or whatever kind of things that you do for your family. Ask yourself if there's some obligation there. Do you feel obligated to do those things? Now understand that obligation is really what it's really about is about it's a fear motivated emotion. To feel obligated towards somebody is to fear their judgment, to fear the contention that might arise, to fear being alone. Maybe you're afraid of what they might do. That's what creates obligation in our relationships. So understand that fear is at the root of that. And if you know anything about the coaching that I do, I am anti-fear, and I want you to confront and challenge that any chance you get. So obligation has, first of all, it has a foundation of fear. I want you to also understand what it's actually doing to the relationships that you're engaged in. At its foundation as well, obligation is really saying that you are responsible for other people's emotions. So let's say when you feel obligated to call somebody because you don't want them to feel bad. And in that moment, the paradigm that you're living by is that I'm responsible for your emotions, so I'm going to do everything that I can to manage my interaction with you so that I don't make you upset. Now listen to that statement, so that I don't make you upset. That kind of mentality, it's false. And what you're doing unintentionally is you're taking other people's power away. Listen to the word, I make you upset. Right? That making word is a forceful type of action. And it gives us a clue as to what's really happening, or at least what we really believe is happening in that relationship. We believe that we're responsible for other people's emotions. We believe that we make other people feel a certain way. And it's just false. It's not correct. The reality is that we have to start moving towards is understanding that we are actually responsible for our own emotions. And again, if you've ever watched me train or heard any of my content before, the most precious thing you could ever do to strengthen your life and your relationships is to become emotionally self-reliant. Because to be emotionally self-reliant, we then no longer need to take from those around us, and it opens up the space for us to be able to give and to exchange with other people more freely. So very crucial principle there. So your call to action here let me also say with obligation, that when we feel obligated, then other thing that it does is it actually creates resentment. So think about any time that you have maybe failed time and time again to fulfill your obligation to somebody else. Our natural tendency as human beings is to move into a space of resentment, resenting the relationship, resenting the obligation. And the moment that happens, that's when that chasm starts to slowly grow, and the relationship starts to fill up with all kinds of other nasty emotions and energy. So obligation has all kinds of destructive patterns, and my challenge to you would be to start to have that harder conversation with people. When you look for two things this week, look for how you feel obligated to other relationships around you. And when you recognize that, be willing to start to shift that dynamic. The easiest way to do that, you can look up other videos on this, but is to be accountable to other people about how you've been engaging in that relationship. If you go into that conversation with blame or finger pointing, you're going to create problems. So the most powerful thing you can do in any situation is to be accountable for your actions and how you have perpetuated that dynamic. Make a request, a loving request for them to join you in this. Share with them what you're learning. Heck, show them the video. Do what you need to educate them and bring people along on this journey with you. The second thing I want you to do is to look for how you are obligating the people around you. What things are you doing or saying to create obligation for other people? In other words, how are you giving up your power to other people? Does that make sense? I hope I hope so, because if I am making someone obligated, let's say that, so I really like fishing. If I really wanted to obligate my wife to come fishing with me, what I would do is maybe put her on a guilt trip, or maybe sigh in disgust, or bring up old things. Oh, I went running with you the other day, you know, and using those kinds of things. So there's all kinds of ways that we can use that as a manipulation tool. And so if we're doing that, be willing to consider that in that moment, if I were to say that to my wife, I'm literally giving up my power to her. What I'm saying, and the paradigm that I'm living in, is that my happiness is dependent upon whether or not you come fishing with me, whether or not you do what I want you to do. And if we do that, not only do we relinquish power to other people, we don't want to relinquish our power, but we're also creating obligation, which in the end is going to create resentment, which is going to create disconnection, which creates all kinds of problems in the end. So obligation is a very destructive force in our life. Please look for how it's showing up and do what you can to start to address and to shift out of that dynamic. Change the culture in your family and you will change your whole life. As always, we have all kinds of trainings. You can sign up for the free e-course on the sidebar here if you haven't already. There's some great educational videos in there that will really help you to start lay the foundation for changing your life and your family. There's free trainings and events always coming up. You can always click on the tabs at the top here to figure out when those next trainings are. And stuff on Facebook, articles obviously, and videos on this website. Would love for you to participate more, get in more involved, ask questions, post a comment below if you have any questions about how to apply this. Would love to share this with you more. So hope this finds you well, and I hope that you have the courage to take action on this. Take care, and I love you, and I'll see you soon.